And the next session coming up is on a very, very interesting topic on modernizing fraud risk management with SAS Viya. And we don't have one, but two expert speakers and presenters who are going to take you through this session. I request all of you do not leave anywhere and stay tuned. In the next 2 minutes, we will start this fantastic session on modernizing fraud risk management with SAS Viya, to be presented by two presenters on stage. And now it gives me immense pleasure to announce our next presenters. As I say, not one but two presenters. Can we have a big round of applause? Joining us first, Mr. Niket Vyas, APAC Regional Lead, Data and AI Solutions from SAS, and Mr. Dipen Shah, Vice President, Sales and Consulting Services from Nupeak, will follow right after Niket's session. Niket, all over to you. Looking forward to a great session.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, I'm Niket from SAS, and in today's section we will just see how are the modern fraud AML solutions looking like, the entire FRAML solution looks like, and what we have been doing here at SAS. So a quick agenda for today, what we'll be seeing is we look at the product strategy that we have at SAS, what we have been doing over the past years, and what we have been doing as of today, and what's our future roadmap looks like. And then it will be followed by a quick demonstration of how the product solution looks like. And then finally, I would like to invite Dipen from Nupeak to show about and talk about the implementation best practices that we have. So historically, SAS has been a leader for fraud management solutions, as most of your peers in the industry would have at least used this SAS fraud management solution. And this solution has been going very strong for at least past 15 years in the industry. And the good thing about the solution was, we're still able to deal with, real-time decisioning that the platform would support. And most likely, what we had seen was that this solution was deployed on-premise. But, as we're moving forward, now what we're seeing in the industry that, the data has risen significantly, the fraud patterns have changed. A lot of fraudsters have started using AI, for attacks. And what we have developed is we have developed a completely different solution. It's called SAS Fraud Decisioning. And now this is a cloud-native solution so that it becomes very easy for us to scale as we grow as an organization. And we still remain and we continue to be a leader in this particular segment too. And the product strategy that we follow here at SAS is that we want to increase the productivity, performance, and ensure that this entire platform is trusted because we work with regulated entities here. So for enterprise decisioning, we have a very robust solution which we can scale up whatever decisions that we are building. So these would be something as simple as we just starting out with fraud rules as part of our processes, and then we are also seeing a lot of development happening in the machine learning front, AI, Gen AI front in the industry. We'll talk a little bit more about this in the next few slides. And after using your traditional rules and your ML model, probabilities which are coming in, on top of this, we embed SAS's experience in the industry for past few decades. So we leverage all of these things, and after this, we come up with a final overall solution that we have developed for financial crime prevention. And this is just a quick look at the broad portfolio that we have. So you see we cover the entire gamut, right from payments fraud, application fraud, customer due diligence, and AML. And these are just names of some of the SaaS solutions that we have to cater to each of these use cases. And our architecture looks something like this, where we connect to whatever source data you have depending on what kind of processes have to be run. It could be batch processes, real-time processes. And Dipen will talk more about this when he covers it from the implementation point of view. And finally, what I am much more keen towards talking to all of you all today is what's the latest thing that is happening in industry. So here at SAS, we are going from prediction to generation and then taking action, using whatever is the latest technology that is available. So for predicting the outcomes, what we have been doing traditionally in the industry we are identifying the data patterns using whatever knowledge that we already have. Our teams have the existing skill sets. And now what is happening is our teams have started to leverage Gen AI to generate these more and more complex rules, right? But these complex rules just cannot be like, we can go to a LLM and just ask us to create a specific fraud rule which is specific for our business and our own data, right? We need something to understand that context. And it has to be in our organization, means that governance and security is extremely important. So we have covered that as part of our solution offering. And then finally, this is where we are right now. In the industry, everybody has started building AI agents to leverage, the predictive AI as well as the generative AI. So how we are doing this? So we are using this to, orchestrate your data decisions as well as, triaging alerts dynamically through various channels. And just a quick outlook on this. So we have created a co-pilot for our solution where we use your traditional rules, for whatever maybe your team members have written it or, partner vendors have written it for you. And then we use all of those domain knowledge that is present. We give it access to the SAS AI engine or the SAS AI agent, which is in the platform. And then what the SAS Copilot does is it will translate those natural language rules into SAS code, which can easily be audited and it can easily be explained also to the end user that what exactly is happening. So the first approach, the traditional approach is that there was manual rule coding. This requires a skill set of course, technical skill set for your users to write the code, as well as your analyst has to know the domain and your company data really well, right? So this is something that we have been doing in the industry for a really long time. And slowly, off late, recently what we developed is you can also create the same rules without using any coding. It can just be like a drag and drop. And what you're seeing on the screen is, a business user who does not know coding but still wants to create some business rules to detect fraud. They can, maybe just drag and drop, select the variables and create something like this. But now, the latest approach, which is an AI-driven approach, is this entire code which goes behind the scene. We don't even have to do drag and drop. We can just use a natural language to enter, based on our complex fraud rule that we want to create. So I don't want to talk much about this slide. I would rather show you a quick demo, how it works, so that, that everybody in the room can easily understand what is happening. So what you're seeing on the left-hand side are all the variables that are available to us in our ecosystem. Right? So if you see, there are card types, card holder name, card numbers, whatever is available. And on top, what you see, the Gen AI rule, that is the name of the rule, for which we want to develop. The screen is looking blank right now because we want to start building a rule. So if you go on the right-hand side, this is a SAS Viya Copilot. On bottom, you see there is a chat window. We just type on this. I had a pre-built prompt. So you see, I know it's difficult to read. I'll read it out for you. It says, decline credit card authorizations when the card is not present and the fraud score is over 700. Okay, this is a very simple rule. We just type it to the Copilot. Now the Copilot will understand that just based on this, which variables I have to pick, okay, and add the threshold of greater than 700 to this particular code. Okay, but if we feel that, hey, greater than 700 code seems too less, okay, let's increase it to 850. So you just write change fraud score 850, and it understands that which variable value has to be changed. Okay, so it changes this. We feel this is okay. We can click on accepting, and then it goes and it enters the SAS code for you. So now this SAS code is just not a piece of code. It is actually you have created a rule using this natural language generation. So this was it. Just to summarize, if you see here on the screen, we have like an AI advisor also where transaction analysis information also can be given. Transaction call script can also be displayed. So these are just snippets of this. If you're interested, after this session, we have a booth outside. You can connect with us. and we'll be more than happy to talk about this more in detail. And now I would like to invite on stage Mr. Dipen Shah from Nupeak, who is a SAS partner, and he would like to talk about the implementation details. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. See this product feature. I am Dipen Shah. I represent the company called Nupeak. We are implementation partner. And to be very honest, all those tools, the OEMs, the big feature functionality is not useful until the business users are ready to use it. So we are the partners who work hand in hand with business team, with technical team of your company, and ensure whatever the needs or the requirement that you have at a business level, at an operation level, can be implemented using the tools like SAS. So you have seen how the features, functionalities are. Now, our focus on this particular presentation is primarily on how the execution happens on the ground with the business team, with the operation team, or with the IT team that you guys have. So how the experience that we have on the best execution is this session. I have 9 minutes left, so I'll just keep it short. Banking industry, financial service industry, they have different kind of a fraud, different kind of a scams. And while we talk about the insurance industry, they also have a little bit different kind of a, frauds and different kind of a scams. Now what we are going to cover here is how SAS as a single platform or single solution can adhere to both this requirement in a very simplistic way. So if we are talking about banking life cycle, see any typical banking life cycle starts with account opening, account setup, then login, then usage, and then they will do the transaction. This is very simplistic way of doing banking. Right? Now, the solution here is when there is a issue, application level, there are a lot of fraud happening. So across the life cycle, how fraud can be detected, how fraud can be investigated, and how fraud can be prevented. This is the 3 pillars of the fraud strategy. Everybody understands that. And how we can do this work for your organization using the tool like SAS is something that we are going to see. What are the different kind of fraud typologies? I think you know it better than any IT company would say. So account takeover, digital payment fraud, loan or credit fraud, merchant fraud, card, identity theft, money mule networks. This has been a talk of the town lately. There are a lot of money mule accounts identification. How we do it, what are the ways we can do it, what are the analytics role into it. So this is what we are going to talk. This is very important slide. I really love this slide because there are a lot of scams mentioned here. I'll read it out, some of this fraud, and this is day to day. I was listening to one of the panel also. There are love scam, there are job scam, there are some fake call scam, digital arrest. Lot of different kind of scams. So first of all, we need to understand what different kind of fraud are there. After identifying phishing fraud, lucky draw scam, and we have all been part of it. I myself has been part of one of the digital arrest on one of the bank, and luckily I reported on time and I got my money back. But this has happened to all those intelligent people also. It's not a case where you are not educated enough and stuff like that. So it happens to all of us. How this can be converted into a business rule, technology rule, analytics rule, or a prediction model, or whatsoever, AI, ML, the different buzz words. But practical scams has to be configured in the tool, and that way you can prevent the fraud. So at Nupeak, we work day in, day out on identifying and staying ahead of the fraudsters, to identify, detect the fraud, and investigate that kind of a fraud. What are the action to be taken? So here is the action. So if there is such fraud, should we reject this? Should we authenticate it with the end user? Should we monitor it, or we should approve this kind of a transaction to happen? How this is all that? These are something called as the rules. You call it rule, you call it AI model creation, ML model creation. It's all same. There is no buzz to be talked about. It's simply this kind of scam is happening. Is my tool capable enough to handle this or not? So this is the kind of a work that we have in terms of execution. Of course, it can be done batch mode. It can be done on the real time as well. A hybrid approach nowadays is being followed, that some of the transaction I want to monitor real time, some of the transaction I want to do on a batch mode. These are the ML scoring model. All those data goes into the SAS platform where all the rules are written, all the machine learning scores are getting generated, and then eventually it will give the category of high risk, medium risk, low risk, and possible alerts on the screen for your business users to work upon. So step 1, you already have some rule, configure that rule. As simple as that. Quick turnaround, within 15 to 30 days, rules are ready, business users are ready to go. So tool you have procured, tool is there, but you want to start leveraging the tool. Step 1, configure it. Within 1 month, you start getting the results so that you will get more confidence on the tool technology. Step 2, then you go with some unsupervised machine learning, supervised, unsupervised. Then you go with detailed machine learning approach, and then you capture different kind of methodology of fraud. Because while you are doing this, 3 months has gone, and some fraudster has started some different kind of fraud. So you have to keep doing these steps over and over again. So within 3 months of a time, while you are implementing and executing everything, a new fraudster has came up with different kind of a typology. You have to have a strategy to be in place to capture these kind of methodology also in the platform. This is how we do using SAS. We pick up the data from various sources. We do some data cataloging, data engineering, data lineage. I mean, all product does that, right? Data exploration, understanding the single point of data. And then there is model development. Here is the game where SAS has pre-built model, pre-configured model in the system. You quickly put it on the drag and drop, which we have seen some of the model, what Niket has shown. Some risk score comes, you deploy it on the production, and real time the game starts. So within 2 to 3 months, it will start giving you the result that you are looking for. Because if you are investing something and you are waiting for 1 whole year to come out as a result, then CFOs will come and say that what is the ROI? So our idea is to have the platform ready and in use within 3 to 4 months of a time. And that's what the strategy is all about. How we detect the fraud, I already covered. I'll quickly cover this. We do a customer profiling first. Start from account opening to the transaction level. Customer profiling, transaction profiling, device profiling, because we are talking digital. And then beneficiary profiling, where they are doing the transaction. It is domestic, international, what kind of a transaction, what is the behavior. That's where the machine learning and algorithm starts. So these are the orchestrating the intelligence. Very simple 7-step approach. Integrate with different kind of sources, different kind of channel, UPI, card, ATM, transaction data. Block code processing, this is very important. Different fraud typology has a different kind of a code. That process, then you get the customer demographic on a real time. Then there is a notification engine, and then it will be decided whether I should approve the transaction, whether I should hold the transaction, or whether I should validate with the end customer by IVR call or any other means. And then you process the transaction. And then if there is a fraud, then put it in the watch list bucket. If there is no fraud, then you approve the transaction. So these are very simplistic steps that any organization would do, and how efficiently it can be done is something where our expertise lies in. Some of the data points used by us in creating such model, out-of-the-box models are available. Beneficiary data, domestic transaction. So this is our behavioral model. It's already there. You don't need to go out and create the behavioral model. It's already there. You just plug in your data and you will get the results. So these are end-to-end flow. So why we are saying it's an enterprise grade kind of a solution, where you bring one solution and it solves most of all your fraud decisioning problems. You get data from across the channel. You do the data preparation, alert triaging, case management also being very, very important. And then administrating and creating new and new strategy over and over again, because fraudsters are always trying to find a different way to do the fraud, and we should always be step ahead on it. And that's how the solution, comprehensive solution looks like. And for the end user, it will be something like this, where they can see on the first screen, they can see different kind of alerts which is getting generated because of the probable fraud. And then the middle screen is for those who are handling that division. So division owners are the ones who can see on the day-to-day how many alerts got generated, how many of which are true hits, how many of them are false positive. And then lastly, for the CFO, C-suite people, where they actually are interested in ROI. So whether it is worth investing or not. So this is how the entire financial crime investigation hub looks like. This is all that I've been talking on the banking context. The same can be put in also in the insurance context also. But before I jump to the insurance context, my time is up, but still, if I may take 5 minutes, because I have a good success story, which I don't want to say it out from my mouth. It's better to come from one of our esteemed customer, Sriram General Insurance customer story, and we are privileged to have such customer with us who are open to talk about how they are using the platform. It's 3 minutes, maybe less than 3 minutes of a video. If the time permits, I can just quickly open it.
People just get on with life. But for some, suddenly, everything changes. I've seen it. It's devastating.
There is lack of insurance awareness in India. People see it as an expense rather than an investment. They don't trust it. They don't understand it.
When customers come to me with questions like, what cover do I need? How much it will cost? How fast will I be onboarded? I can't just say I'll need more time to find out for you.
For me, customer service is meant to be real-time, with no gap between data and decision-making.
Decision had to be faster, so customer did not have to wait long for the questions or concern to be addressed. Our priority was to streamline reporting to be more efficient, improving our visibility and ultimately enhancing customer experience.
And that's when we asked SAS to help us move from manual reporting to a real-time, AI-enabled and data-driven approach.
With SAS, we build a resilient, cloud-fast, always-on system, zero downtime, no disruption. Everyone now has the data to make informed decisions exactly when they need it.
So more than 100 personalized reports and over 1,500 emails began flowing daily. Reporting efficiency rose multifold. SAS Viya on cloud sped up our actuarial data preparation from 15 days to now just 2 days.
Customers felt safe and secure quicker.
We can now answer customers' questions immediately. Like if a customer whose car needs repairing asks about the access cost or when it will be fixed or the quality of the repair shop, we can reduce their anxiety with solid, instant, data-driven and AI-supported information.
Every decision traceable, every outcome auditable.
This means every outcome is aligned with our mission, helping families live safe and secure lives and protecting their assets. And for customer, it means no more waiting. Every claim, every answer, every price is faster, clearer and fairer.
And that's why I come to work, because everyone has the right to feel protected.
So if you have seen carefully, the IT head, the chief risk officer, and the CEO himself, all are included in the entire journey of how the fraud can be prevented. So I have a quick strategy on the insurance perspective to identify and detect fraud and prevent fraud. So it's simply the execution perspective that I'll be talking about, because the product remains the same, but how you execute in the world of insurance where the claims are the biggest priority. So claim fraud decisioning, Very simple 3-step approach. One is detecting the fraud. Again, it's the same. Investigating the fraud, and then decisioning what to do with it, right? So detecting the fraud, you get a lot of alerts, lot of rules, algorithm, different kind of scams. You put it in the system, and system will start throwing an alert at a hospital level. If it is a health use case, hospital level, agent level, policy level, or a claim level. So entity level, detecting the fraud and putting on the screen for the analyst to work upon that there are 19 alerts to be worked upon at this level, 13 at policy level, 132 at a claim level. So after identifying and detecting there is a probable fraud, there may be a case to investigate it further. So tool has a capability of various network diagram, automatic network. These are all part of the screenshots. And on the geotagging also where this is happening, so that you will get more insights about it. So once the investigation part is done, then there is further action to be taken, which is called case management, where there is a workflow in any organization where the alerts is been identified, investigation is been done, and then monitoring and governing the entire process is very, very important. And that's where the case management plays a big role when all these workflow are predefined in the system. However, any organization wants a different kind of workflow, it can be easily configured in the system with drag and drop, and workflow is ready. And it's very easy process for an organization to adopt and configure the tool and work for their organization. And of course, search and all of the functionality are part of the package. And lastly, the risk score. Of course, any alerts, maybe false positive, true hit, you want to tag it to a risk, and then eventually you need to identify whether it's a high risk, medium risk, low risk, which we have already covered. But this is some of the criteria on which we have out of the box model built in the system, where if we talk about the hospital risk scoring in the context of healthcare insurance, then what is the readmission rate, what is the claim rejection rate, what is the enhancement rate, claim volume growth. These are some of the parameters that we keep in mind while creating this particular model, creating an out-of-the-box model. And that's where you will be able to identify if there is something fishy about this hospital who is processing my claims. Right? So this is one of the few example of how we do the risk scoring. There are many more to discuss, which we can definitely discuss. We have a booth here. You can visit our booth. We can talk about it detail. If there is any specific requirement from the functionality perspective or the execution strategy perspective, we are there to discuss and deliberate more on this. And I believe that's it from our side. I think, Niket.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I think a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for both of our expert presenters, Mr. Niket Vyas from SAS and Mr. Dipen Shah from Nupeak. Niket and Dipen, I would like you to kindly be on stage for another minute, and would like to call on stage Mr. Anurag Parashar from Axis Max Life Insurance to kindly do the honors of felicitating our experts. Anurag ji, if you could kindly come on stage, please. Thank you. We'll first start with Mr. Niket Vyas, APAC Regional Lead Data and AI Solutions from SAS. A big round of applause to Niket for the wonderful presentation and the valuable thoughts shared. And now, Mr. Dipen Shah, Vice President Sales and Consulting Services from Nupeak. A big round of applause to Dipen for his valuable insights and the expert opinion shared.